Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, you're listening to World Combat Sports. This is the UFC Vegas 11 official weigh-ins. I will piggyback off someone who's actually on deck. You know what I'm saying? You got to get in where you fit in, people. Appreciate everyone who stopped through. I'm going to share a screen right quick so we can get this underway. In the meanwhile, before we have the first fighter step on the scale, of course, you know, just a little backstory of what happened yesterday. So let me get full screen here. What's going on? Rob is in the building. Salute to you, man.
The official weight for you.
Now this is gonna fly by pretty good, man. I'm just happy to see another mixed martial arts card on deck, man. UFC has been doing the damn thing. Seneca J in the building this morning, man. Salute to the first two in the building, Rob, Seneca J, man. Salute to y'all fellas, and hope you enjoying your weekend. One day before it all pops off tomorrow. This is the official weigh-in.
All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC women's flyweight division, Mayra Romero Borella.
What I like about women's MMA, they're pretty much mirrored up to the men. 3 rounds, 5 minutes each. 5 rounds in co-main events, main events, 5 rounds, 5 minutes each. They pretty much leveled across the board in competition. So, like I said before, when it comes down to them advocating for higher pay or whatever the case may be, they can basically say they're doing the same thing. And that's what I hope women's boxing, elevate themselves to real soon. I hope they finally look at, okay, 3 minutes a round is doable for women. You know what I'm saying? They have an antiquated rule in place for the women when they can just basically have them, fight the same amount of minutes that men. I remember in the Marine Corps where the men had to run 3 miles for the physical fitness test, and the women was running 1.5 miles. And they'd get to the 1.5 mile point, and they wouldn't even be out of breath that much. You know what I'm saying? But they changed that and made them run 3 miles. So the UFC should, be a template, because most other sports, the women fight the same amount of time the men fight.
134.5, the official weight for Andre Gould. You good? Thank you.
Of course, I have in the description box the entire card. Okay, weigh-ins are never in order per the fight. Per the fight card, they're never in order. Okay, but usually the main card, they weigh in late.
Tomorrow night, he's the former UFC interim welterweight champion, Colby Covington.
So Colby Covington is up next. This is going to be short. They're not going to televise everybody. Good. Colby Covington's on the scale. This will be campaigned at the 170 limit, welterweights.
171 pounds, the official weight for Colby Covington.
Colby Covington weighs in, balance the scales. We have a fight until we have to wait for Tyron. I'm pretty sure Tyron's going to be good to go. Kind of local sports in the building.
Our next fighter to the scale, one half of the co-main event here tomorrow night. Niko, the hybrid Price.
I like Niko Price. Like I said yesterday, he come to bring the pain. He has that fight in him. I actually have a little history with his coach. You know, I will talk about that after the weigh-ins are over with. But salute to him. I like his fighting style. I like what he brings to the cage.
The official weight for Niko Price.
Niko Price in the building will be facing Cowboy Cerrone, Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I look for Niko to win that fight, to be honest. Colonel said, just dropping by to show support and give you that thumbs up. I know nothing about UFC. It's all good, bro. Appreciate your presence, man. Salute to you. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Rob, what's your channel? Is it the same as your screen name or what? What's your channel?
135 on the nose, the official weight for Randy Costa.
135, that is bantamweight division. Randy Costa makes weight. Randy Costa. He will be facing Journey Newsom in the bantamweight division.
To the scale in the UFC's featherweight division, we welcome back Damon Jackson.
Damon Jackson will be fighting Mirsad Bektic at 145 pounds, which is featherweight division.
$145 and a half, the official weight.
Makes weight even. Don Dada in the building. Salute, man. This is the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Vegas 11 main card. It will go off in the Apex Center. We're still in the bubble.
Light heavyweight division, currently ranked number 11 in the world, Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker, flashy, entertaining, but had his, slides of as recent because he hasn't learned that the sport of MMA continue to evolve. You know what I'm saying? He has, if he's going to be sporadic, flamboyant, entertaining, reckless, he has to tighten it up so it doesn't leave him in a vulnerable position to be countered. I like when he take risk. 205, he is indeed a light heavyweight. So Johnny Walker will be facing Ryan Spann. I appreciate him taking risk. I like his style. I'm glad he took the color out of his hair. He was just seemed like he was in a whole nother place. I don't know, trying to find another character, but just be himself. Johnny Walker can be himself and be respected in the MMA game. That's all he needs to do. It kind of all started when he celebrated post-fight and injured his shoulder. It kind of made him look like he needed a freaking chaperone or something, man.
$145, the official weight for TJ Laramie.
TJ Laramie. He will be in there versus Derek Minner. Contended at 145, which is featherweight division. Current champion at the 45 division is Alexander Volkanovski.
Middleweight division, GM3, Gerald and Meerschaert.
Y'all be sure to check out Rob's channel.
$186, the official weight for GM3.
Connell said, drop the link. That's too much typing. Beatmaker.
All right, next up in the UFC strawweight division, Randa Markos.
They go Randa Markos. This is going to be a pretty good fight. Randa Markos will be in there with multi-time BJJ world champion Mackenzie Dern at women's strawweight division. That's 115 pounds. She's a tough fighter. She just have to be smart in there, not to fight, make it a close quarters fight, and then get stuck in the clinch. You know, like I said before, this is mixed martial arts.
115 and a half, the official weight for
So you can be a BJJ world champion, but yet and still take down the fences, everything. And once you're on the ground, I mean, your jiu-jitsu defense is just as good as your offense. You know what I'm saying? You can use that to your advantage also. We have seen that proven over and over again. You have BJJ, elite BJJ practitioners coming into the cage and do not have success. You know what I'm saying?
All right, moving on now to the UFC bantamweight division.
This is not Nogi. This is not Naga. This is not EBI. This is not ADCC. This is mixed martial arts, where it's a full contact sport, not submission grappling. Coco the Don in the building. Salute to you. Coco the Don. Y'all be sure to check out his channel and Kano Local Sports. Y'all be sure to check out.
$135 on the nose, the official weight for
135 even. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the face-offs too. Okay. After the weigh-ins, we're going to have the face-offs. So, of course, you know, you're going to have, since this pandemic, it's just gotten so soft a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go back to the old school UFC weigh-ins. You know what I'm saying? The inaugural weigh-ins, you know, where fighters can get a little bit hyped up. You know what I'm saying? Dana White put his arm in between the fighters, but really, that's not going to do anything. If they really want to swing, if it wasn't anything contractually, you know what I'm saying? They would swing, they would do whatever, man.
$125.5, the official weight for Bueno Silva.
Mayra Silva.
All right, next fighter to the scale.
Mayra Silva will be taking on Mayra Romero in the women's flyweight division, which is 125. pounds contended. Kevin Holland will be facing Darren Stewart at 185, which is the middleweight division. And you know what? He kind of reminds me of Michael Johnson when he came in. You know, he got the personality, he got the flash, and you know, right now he's making pretty decent run, you know, with his notoriety as he continue to win. So let's see how he does against Darren Stewart, man. This is the UFC weigh-ins for UFC 11. It's going down tomorrow. Main event, Colby Covington and Tyron Woodley. Khamzat is a big deal right now. A lot of energy is placed and hype behind this fighter. He's a different breed. You know what I'm saying? Have I seen somebody like him come on deck? Sorta. But so far, he's proven that he's on another level when it comes to his striking. We just have to wait as he increases level of competition. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a good fight. Khamzat Chimaev has fought at middleweight and welterweight. Like, this is like his third, I think, return. I mean, like, he has been fighting back to back. He's fought at middleweight and welterweight, and he's made weight. So you think about that, 170 to go up to 85. You know what I'm saying? He's very disciplined, and he's winning. He's winning. Real talk. So shout out to Khamzat Chimaev. Looking forward to seeing him fight. Reminds me of a taller, more well-rounded Khabib. But I don't like to compare them just because they look alike. It's not a bodybuilding contest. You know, Mirsad Bektic, but he'll be facing Damon Jackson, who was up here earlier. That's Mirsad Bektic. Weighing in the 145 limit, which is the featherweight. Rob say Anthony Rumble Johnson is coming back, man. We definitely have to talk about that. We have to chat that up for real. You know, what effect will Anthony Johnson have in the light heavyweight division or the heavyweight division, you know, if he chooses to move up. But light heavyweight division right now, John Jones is gone. You know who the champion is at that division? It's about to be Dominic Reyes or Jan Blachowicz. Can Anthony Johnson go in there and defeat either one of them? Potentially. We have to see how he looks. He's been out the sport for a while.
125.5, the official weight for David Dvorak.
125.5. David Dvorak. He will be facing Jordan Espinosa at 125, which is a flyweight division. And currently the champion is Davison Figueiredo. I like Figueiredo's style. You know, he earned it. He came back in and defeated Joseph Benavidez the second time around when he missed weight. So I'm looking forward to his next fight. Real talk. His next fight, you know what it's going to be? Against Cody No Love Garbrandt. Cody's dropping down from 35 to 25 to face the champion, man. That's going to be a nice one. That's going to be a fire fight right there. But back to what Rob was saying, man. Let me get up here for a second. Dundada said, "Do you think the crowd added to the weigh-in hype?" Absolutely. Absolutely, they did. Absolutely. The crowd, man, hearing that energy for boxing, the weigh-ins, all that, man, the crowd pumps up the fighter, man. Yeah, hell yeah. Yes, absolutely. And the weigh-ins, the UFC weigh-ins, man, they was something that you wanted to tune in to. Real talk, you wanted to tune in. If you didn't look at the Khabib and Conor McGregor weigh-in, it's been so many solid weigh-ins. The Diaz brothers, and Conor McGregor. I mean, that's definitely what you want. You want that crowd there cheering the fighter on, for real. We here, most honorable channel out there at work watching. Appreciate that, Rob. Y'all be sure to check out Rob's new channel, man. Sub to the channel, go check him out. I will definitely go over there and try to find your channel. I think that's what it was when you posted that over there, Beatmaker. So, hey, Rob, did you drop the link to where your channel is at? Did you drop the link to it? Shout out to Jackal Fitness AWD, man. Them guys doing it big. They actually have a fighter that's contending tomorrow on the top ranked card. He's 17 years old, Jai Tucker. And I'm looking forward to seeing this young warrior step in the ring, man. There's so many young fighters being signed early now. You know what I'm saying? If you have the goods, you having fighters being signed at 17 years old, easy. Still in school. And it's even better being that a lot of schools are practicing virtual learning. You know what I'm saying? It's good right now for these fighters. If you have the goods, get signed early and hopefully everything else work out for you. Appreciate everybody who stopped through. Oh yeah, I did. So let me go back up here and find it. I'm pretty sure Tyron Woodley is going to come out last, probably. I'm just guessing. Yesterday, all his responses to the questions was BLM responses. I don't know how that was going to promote the fight with him and Colby Covington. I guess because Colby's been supporting the president, but I don't know. I mean, I guess he's taking a stance right now, but I'm not going to knock him for his message or whatever the case. But I just felt like it was somewhat like we got from Marshawn Lynch. But with Lynch, he was just saying, you know, that's who he is as a person. He wasn't really directing any specific message. He just don't like the media. You know what I'm saying? So what Tyron Woodley did, it's not anything that was bad on his part. I just wish he would have addressed the fight itself. You know, being that this is a grudge match. These two individuals have a history in the gym at some point in time. You know, also Covington used to train with Jorge Masvidal. They had a falling out. So Jorge Masvidal has kind of, you know, been in the camp and helping Tyron Woodley, you know, get ready for the Colby Covington fight. You know how that goes, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's just like what we see going on with Justin Gaethje. You know, from my understanding, Justin Gaethje now has been training with Colby Covington. So if you know the history between that, boy, you'd be like, hell no. But it just shows you the maturity of the sport, man. The continuing, you know, how I continuously evolve, even with training camps, even with gyms, schools, whatever you want to call it. It's continuing to evolve because you may be enemies, you know, on a different side of the cage in fighting a particular fighter. But as time goes along, you end up potentially joining the school of your opposition that you may have not liked, but you get in there, you know, you shake hands and you get it in. It happens all the time. This is not the first time, but it happens. It happens. This Justin Gaethje could beat the Magomedov fight. The lightweight division is huge. It's huge, man. It is absolutely huge. I hope both of these guys come in COVID free. I really want to see this fight happen. And from my understanding, the backup plan is going to be Michael Chandler. And, you know, I addressed this to a certain individual in YouTube. I put the Bellator champion. Sometimes, you know, you have to babysit adults sometime when it comes to just generalizing a statement. Anyone who followed the sport know he's a former champion. But when your media, it's good to kind of like leave him in a status of, okay, Bellator champion. We already know that he's the former champion. He's in the UFC now. So therefore, if he was still in Bellator, I would have said former champion, but he's in the UFC now. So I said Bellator champion. That's basically stapling the fact that he was a Bellator champion. I don't have to put was, former, all this other shit. Anyone who follows the sport knows that Michael Chandler is a former champion. But my highlight to him was that he's signed with the UFC, and he will be the backup to Khabib Nurmagomedov and Justin Gaethje. I like this fight. I like it. I mean, this gets you interested. I mean, the skill set of both fighters is unbelievable. We thinking it's going to be a stand up the first two rounds. We just have to see how Justin Gaethje handles the pressure when Khabib starts to change levels and press him. When Khabib starts applying that pressure, that takedown pressure, how good is Justin Gaethje takedown defense? Now, for the real ones who actually know deep down about the sport, takedown defense is what is strongest when a fighter is fresh. Period. It all depends on the cardio of a fighter.
Exactly. I'm just trying to.
And when they're fresh.
Somebody's got to knock you back down, dog.
So early on, you know, Justin Gaethje may be able to defend the takedown of Khabib. He's fresh. You know, fighters are dry in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Until they pick up that sweat. So, you know, Khabib pressing the issue, going in, closing the distance for a single double. You know, he's gonna have his quickest moments. But the one thing about Khabib, he's proven to be able to do the same thing in the third, fourth, and fifth round. And my only question is, I want to see something I haven't seen from Justin Gaethje yet. I want to see how he handles the takedown pressure of Khabib as the rounds go. If he's able to stuff Khabib's, refute Khabib's takedown in the first and second round pretty handily, well, I have to see what the clinch game is working like. I have to see what the striking exchange is going to be like. Does Justin Gaethje has the cardio to hang round for round with Khabib, minute for minute, rather, not round for round, minute per minute, with the pressure that Khabib is known to apply to his opposition? That's what I want to see. I really want to see how his cardio hold up, because once the fatigue set in, we've seen fighters with pretty good takedown defense hit the canvas. Just say, for instance, DC and John Jones. Once DC started to fatigue, he was being taken down easily. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time with these fighters who doesn't get, who aren't taken down as easily as you would think. You know what I'm saying? Without, some type of clinch game, pressing them up against the cage, forcing them to defend the takedown. All that is energy. If you never been up against a mat and trying to defend someone for taking you down, trying to work for those underhooks, I mean, it is exhausting. It's exhausting. And then just say you are able to, get the release and reset, and you pushed up against the cage again, you have to return right back to takedown defense again. And you haven't even really caught your breath. That is the dynamic. That is one of the games of mixed martial arts, man. You know what I'm saying? That is something that's detrimental to the game. The game has evolved tremendously. If you look back in the day, it wasn't too much pressing up against the cage for a reason. It was pressing up against the cage because that's the position that was presented to the fighter. Now, that is the strategy. In some fighters, it's a strategy to push their opponent up against the cage and make them work.
Up next to the scale is Erwin Rivera at bantamweight.
Erwin Rivera is up next. Erwin Rivera is up next. He's facing Andre Ewell. Andre Ewell versus Erwin Rivera at the bantamweight division. Gaethje says the 5 leg kicks. Man, Gaethje, I didn't even, listen, Gaethje has some of them, some lethal leg kicks that takes me back to the old school of the ones who actually use them. The Badaharis of kickboxing, Jose Aldos. They have a low leg kick the way Gaethje does with his combinations. I mean, Justin Gaethje can either throw that leg kick before his combinations, but more so he throws them after his combinations. You never see it coming because the flurry, you're busy defending his punches, and then he finishes up, button up the entire combination set with the low leg kick. So we'll see if it affects Khabib's speed and closing distance to get close to Justin Gaethje, because that plays a big role. You take away the wheels, it slows everything down. You know what I'm saying? It slows everything down. And we haven't had too many people to be able to slow Khabib down because they're worried about the takedown. So if you blend in the fact that Justin Gaethje is said to have damn good takedown defense, he may not be worried about throwing leg kicks early. And usually when Justin Gaethje throw leg kicks, he's in close anyway. All right? He's in close anyway. So one thing about Khabib, He loves to get his opposition to commit to a punch, and then he duck under, and the rest is what it is. Whatever he chooses to make happen, he does, you know. But it all depends, you know. That's just the style of certain individuals who have that wrestling background, and they have that tremendous closing speed, that entry speed to get in on your hips close. And when they get the body lock and the hands are connected, I mean, it's a wrap pretty much. Or if you defended and you pushed up against the cage, that's still a tremendous threat with Khabib. He gets you up against the cage. He's relentless, you know, sat you down, scoop the legs up, and he goes to work. One plus I can give Conor McGregor, he didn't take a lot of punishment initially when he was being taken down, you know, in the early rounds. He didn't take a tremendous amount of punishment. But over time, with Khabib relentlessly starting the round and getting back to the work that he left off with the last round, it exhausted Conor and it set up for the submission in the fourth. Same thing with Dustin Poirier. But, you know, he went out in the third. So, hey, the man is relentless. We're going to see what those leg kicks do. Cardio is going to be extremely important for Gaethje. Man, you ain't never lied there, Rob. Never lied. We ain't never lied. Because when it comes down to it, Gaethje had pretty damn good cardio against Tony Ferguson, but that was a different fight. You know what I'm saying? Tony Ferguson was fighting a stand-up battle, and you know, Gaethje didn't have to worry about him getting close. You know, his takedowns wasn't a threat. You know, Tony Ferguson was known to getting in and going mano a mano, punch for punch. So that's why, you know, Gaethje, his boxing, it prevailed so much in that fight, man. His boxing was superior. It was beautiful to watch him box from those angles, man. That was the best fight ever. I know he has those wars with Palomino, you know, Luis Palomino in the neighboring organization, but I'm saying that particular fight here in the UFC, he showed patience, he showed poise, discipline. All the other fights, sometimes Justin Gaethje just duck his head and he'll just go for the fences, man. But he showed tremendous cardio in there. So it's going to be a big deal against Khabib. Absolutely. I have to give Justin Gaethje this plus, though. I know he has to have better takedown defense than Conor McGregor. Okay, Conor McGregor went 4 rounds. I have to bring this into the equation. Conor McGregor went 4 rounds now. Okay, Edson Barbosa went the distance and he took a beating. So I have to look at it like this. Equate both of those analogies, you know, Conor McGregor and Edson Barbosa. You know, I look at it like compare Edson Barbosa being a stand-up, one of the fastest switch kick fighters in you know, spinning kick, fast twitch fibers in the game. Has pretty decent hands. He was able to make it to the final bell. And then you take in consideration that Conor McGregor, who people say is a white BJJ, which I think he's higher than that now. You know what I'm saying? He was able to go 4 rounds with Khabib. I don't see Justin Gaethje take down the fence or the way he handled himself on the mat to be lower level than Conor McGregor. I just cannot fathom that. Conor McGregor do not have the wrestling pedigree as Justin Gaethje. It's just fact. And in my opinion, Justin Gaethje don't have the hands of Conor McGregor. But Conor McGregor has proven that he has power and dynamite in his left hand. If you allow him to work his game plan as being a counter striker, he can have success over that. You know what I'm saying? He can have success in that striking discipline. But Justin Gaethje, man, his boxing against Tony Ferguson was just beautiful. Absolutely. Rhythm in motion. He ended up stopping him in the 4th, I believe. So you think Colby Covington can stop who? You think Colby Covington can stop what? Tyron? You think Colby Covington can stop Tyron Woodley? If that's the case, I mean, it's not like Tyron hasn't been stopped before. Or you think Colby can stop who again? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. I can't disagree with you on that. I mean, he was stopped in Strike Force.
Up next to the scale in women's bantamweight, we have Jessica Rose Clark.
Jessica Rose Clark, women's bantamweight division, is up next. She's fighting Sarah Alpar. Just think about how much the game has changed, man, since the inception of the women's divisions, since Ronda Rousey stepped on deck. The women's game has changed. Women's MMA is far more entertaining than women's boxing. I'm saying it, and I'm gonna hold my ground. I'm gonna hold my square to it. Women's MMA is way more exciting than women's boxing. Not even close. Not even close. It's just the names that are in women's mixed martial arts, even with the losses, they still sustain that popularity, man. Fans want to see them fight.
Jordan Espinosa at 126.
So Jordan Espinosa will be fighting on the prelims, and he's fighting David Dvorak. Continued at the 125-pound division. That is flyweight. One difference that everyone needs to understand when it comes to men division, obviously they have more divisions than the women. Okay. The women has a strawweight division. Okay. The men do not. It's strawweight, flyweight, bantamweight, and featherweight. The women only have 4 divisions, and the men have 8. Tyson Nam will face Cerrone Rivera in the bantamweight division. So for the men, they have the flyweight division. That's the 125, bantamweight 35, featherweight 45, lightweight 55. And then it's been serious talk, in trying to get the UFC to addition a weight class in between the 55-pound division and the welterweight, which is campaigned at 170-pound division. So you take the lightweight at 155, and you have a weight disparity in between that. So I believe in the future they're going to put a division in between the lightweight division and the welterweight division. So you have the welterweight division at 70. Next is the middleweight at 185, lightweight at 205, and then heavyweight. Cowboy Cerrone in the building. I mean, he's always making weight. It's just all about where his mindset is.
Cowboy Cerrone leading at 170.5.
First time I seen Cowboy in person, man, I was like, dang, old boy's pretty small. That's just the same thing I said with Chuck Liddell when Chuck Liddell was wrecking shop. I said, oh man, Chuck Liddell ain't that big. But that damn, the power that he possessed in his hands, god damn, the Iceman was cold. Seriously, I was like, I wasn't impressed with his size, but it just goes to show you, like, this when Chuck Liddell was running shop. For all you old school cats that used to watch Strike Force, where Rob mentioned about Tyron potentially being stopped by Colby Covington, it's possible. It's highly possible. If you remember the fight when Tyron wasn't even in a damn regular school or gym training at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand how he was a bit underdeveloped with his skills. But Nate Markos knocked him out in round 4 brutally. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he hasn't been stopped before. But, you know, he's been able to handle himself pretty good with taking punishment once he was able to get a team behind him and get his, you know, and elevate his training, you know, get the right teaching. He hasn't been stopped since. What I mean by stop, that means actually stop like Nate Markos stopped him. He hit him with some brutal uppercuts, elbows. It was vicious in Strike Force. After that fight, he stepped into the UFC. You know what I'm saying? He went from 2012, his last fight in Strike Force. And you know, Strike Force, they absolved that particular organization, unfortunately. I used to like the WEC Strike Force. I did. WSOF. Those guys are the PFL, you know. Yeah, the professional fight league. Shout out to them. You know, shout out to Lance Palmer. Lance Palmer over there in Ohio. He's won the tournament twice, $1 million twice. And what's crazy about it, people, Lance Palmer, he's actually right next door to one of my good friends who I served with. It's crazy how this all linked up. You know, he's not a real big boxing and mixed martial art fan. He always used to tell me, he said, hey man, it's this guy that stayed next to me. I think he fights. I think he fights, man. I always see him with his gear and, you know, he introduced himself. He said, I'm a mixed martial artist and this, that, and the other. Come to find out, it was Lance Palmer, man. And so I told him, I said, hey, man, I like that guy's fighting style, bro, you know. And I actually watched his fights in the PFL. I say, man, stop over there and see, can I get an interview with him, man? Lance is one of the coolest cats in the game. Shout out to Lance Palmer, PFL, 2-time winner. He went over there and Lance said, okay, cool. We can do an interview. I like that, man. I don't know why, you know, fighters can't be that way, man. Just drop in. Just pull up. But anyway, Niko Price, as I mentioned earlier. Let me see what Rob had to say. If Woodley loses again, I see him as a gatekeeper. Absolutely. But look, Rob, I can't really put him as a gatekeeper just yet. Well, I can. I would leave that term there, gatekeeper. I don't see him as a journeyman just yet, okay? I'll rephrase that. Yeah, he could be a gatekeeper, but what happens with gatekeepers? They have to keep the gate. And you keep on losing, dog, you ain't keeping the gate. You becoming a stepping stone. You becoming a placement on somebody's resume. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing anything to have somebody come in and say, oh, this is going to be a pretty tough fight. Nah, it just seems like what Kamaru Usman was able to do, and then what Gilbert Burns came in, and Gilbert Burns has less of a reach than Kamaru Usman. And he blasted Tyron. We're talking about a world-class BJJ world champion, man. He beat Tyron with the hands. And I seriously thought at one point in time he was going to stop him. Khabib Time say, I don't like Colby, but I can see him winning by decision tomorrow. Yeah, man, he could potentially win by decision, but also I have to concur a bit with what Rob said and him potentially having the opportunity to stop Tyron Woodley. The reason why I'm saying that is if you look at the fight with Gilbert Burns, he was able to drop Tyron with punches, man. I didn't see that coming, but I know his coach, Derek Santos, is official. He's been working on his boxing, him and his brother Herbert. And he came in and used his hands effectively. Because Tyron was like, shit, why am I going to waste my time and put myself in a predicament with a world-class BJJ practitioner as Gilbert Burns? You know what I'm saying? So it was a stand-up war, and, man, Gilbert blitzed him. So I look at Colby. I think Colby Covington in a lot of ways, he might have a little bit better hands. I don't know, man. That's a good matchup. But I was impressed with his boxing against Usman. And I think he has slightly better hands than Gilbert Burns. If that is indeed the case, Tyron's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in trouble. Because let's negate this one layer that's included in mixed martial arts, right? Between these two guys, let's negate the takedown effect. We know it can happen once Tyron gets fatigued. We've seen it happen. You know what I'm saying? Not so much with Kamaru Usman because he's on a whole nother level. He's a strong champion. And, you know, when it comes down to him closing distance, easily he was able to take Tyron down. But when it comes to Colby Covington and Tyron, I think Colby, in a sense, would do what Gilbert Burns didn't attempt to early on. I think really looking at the Usman fight, Colby is going to try to, you know, deplete Tyron's gas tank early, but he's going to do it in a way that he's going to have to be cautious, not to be caught by Tyron's right hand because he does have power, especially when it's on the counter. He's going to have to be very careful about closing distance on Tyron in the first and second round. Because we all know Colby can be hurt. Usman, who doesn't have the punching power, in my opinion, as Tyron Woodley, he was able to hit, break his jaw. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think if Colby is able to fatigue Woodley early and able to get the takedown? He may be able to do enough ground and pound to the point where the referee may stop it, or he may be able to connect on the feet because Tyron Woodley, he doesn't kick that much. But Colby Covington has that in his arsenal. I don't know why Tyron, don't use his legs as much. It's not like he's never used them, but just imagine he did use his kicks. Tyron has some tree trunks. You know what I'm saying? He has that wrestling frame, that stature. Imagine if he implemented leg kicks to his fight plan. How much more lethal will he be, y'all? It would be crucial. Gatekeeper to stepping stone to his time to think about your future. Yeah, but you have to look at this too, Rob. You have to look at this, man. Look how many losses Alistair has. Oh my God, dog. Look how many losses Cowboy Cerrone have. Tyron is a long ways from, when you look at the numbers on these guys, come on. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, Tyron's only sitting at 5 losses right now. 5 freaking losses. 5 losses. Cowboy Cerrone, I believe, is at 15, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that's unfreaking believable. Cowboy Cerrone is 36 victories, 15 losses. You know, Alistair Overeem, a guy who's been on the front end of knockouts, highlight reels. When I'm saying, God damn it, Alistair, it's time for you to goddamn retire, bro. And look, Dana White books him for another freaking card. His name, his alias is the Demolition Man. Alistair is 47 with 18 losses. Alistair has 18 losses, man. And, you know, kudos to him for getting his last win out. That was a very solid win because that guy, you know, Augusto Sakaya, he was on the run. He was doing, you know, people were starting to look at him and say, okay, this is somebody we should look out for. Like, he kind of reminded me of a slimmer, what's his name? What's the guy name? Damn. I'll get back to him, but you know, it was some height coming because you know he's kind of soft in the bread basket, but he got quick hands, pretty decent, you know, skill set for that division, and he had a little run going on, you know, somewhat like Volkan Ozdemir did, you know, Derek Lewis, Cannonier, Rodinho Rosenstruck. All these guys, you know, came in. They had this hype behind them, and Alistair Overeem shut Sakai down. Sakai only had 1 loss, y'all. Overeem's 46 and 18, and he went in here and stopped this dude, which had some hype behind him. Not only that, he shut down Walt Harris, which I didn't put too much emphasis in. Walt Harris, to me, he had a lot going on in his life, and it didn't seem like he was in shape. And he doesn't seem like – I can't see Walt Harris. In my opinion, I don't see Walt Harris becoming champion. That's just me. Just like when it comes down to Derek Brunson in the middleweight division. I know he has changed now. I mean, you know, I don't see Derek Brunson ever being a champion. I know he's more patient. He doesn't just rush in with his chin up in the air and get knocked out. And you know, it's tough, man. This is the same dude who's been knocked out twice by Jacare Souza. So I think with Tyron Woodley, he can lose another 5 times. And he'll still be fighting in the UFC. Because if Cowboy is saying, hey, I'm going to continue to fight until Dana say, you know, when I'm walking down with my walker, until Dana White say it's not going to happen no more. I'm like, hell no, it shouldn't be that way. It's time for Cowboy to think about another career. But did you hear him say, I'm building a racetrack? So he's there to pick up a paycheck, win or lose. He's there to pick up a paycheck.
Damn, dog, you lost touch, man. You lost touch. You're staring down the whole fight. You do every week, baby.
D. Hodges in the building. Salute, man. Tyron loses to Colby. I don't think Tyron mind will be the same ever again. I think it's something going on right now, personally, man, to be honest. I think Tyron has something going on. But, you know, when it comes down to combat media, I try to keep the personal shit out. But sometimes when it'll affect a fighter, just say a death in the family. You know, like Walt Harris. Walt Harris, we all know what happened to his daughter. She was killed and everything. So I can understand him returning to the ring and everything. And, you know, how heavy it weighed on his thought process. That's why I look at him as not being ready for that fight with Alistair Overeem. And it was such an easy fight because his daughter's killing made headlines. You know what I'm saying? It was all over the headlines. And unfortunately, man, you know, he's one of the fighters that was in the UFC that we knew. We knew who Walt Harris was. We knew who he was, man. But God bless, man. Rest in heaven, man. For his daughter who was shot and killed. You know. This is taking quite a bit of time than I thought for these weigh-ins. You know, I seriously thought they would be much quicker than this, but you do have some fighters who are still shaking out. You know, who's trying to lose those 1 or 2 pounds. It's not as easy as you think. It's not as easy as you think, people. I mean, it depends on what type of camp they had. If they're the level that they have a nutritionist, a legitimate nutritionist that kept them on par the entire time. And also for the fighter themselves, were they disciplined during this fight camp? Some fighters are still, you know, shaking off those last couple of pounds. So once the weigh-ins, they can go, you know, have the face off and they can go back and rest. They don't have to go back and try to, you know, lose another pound within an hour. That shit is real. A lot of people don't talk about it. Well, sooner or later, I'm going to do an article on weight loss, the weight cut, and how brutal it is. You know, if you follow the weight cut of Darren Till, you know, Darren Till, man, at 170, they say he had lost vision temporarily. You know what I'm saying? Trying to cut weight. And he's a big dude. Darren Till is a big dude when he was at welterweight, but they say he lost vision for a little bit. He went blind. That's how crucial the weight cut is. If you look at the history of Chris Cyborg, her weight cuts was brutal, and she was fighting at 45, but she did come in to make weight at 40, and that was absolutely insane. Cyborg came in at 40, which is the catch weight. And of course, we all know that Ronda Rousey, when she was reigning champion, we all wanted to see Cyborg Rousey, but Rousey was like, nah, she got to come down to bantamweight. And that's just something that rubbed me the wrong way about Rousey, because she wasn't willing to kind of like say, okay, I'm the pioneer. I was the first one in the building. You know, she faced Liz Camooch. And even though my girl Liz Camooch just couldn't sink in that RNC, I wish she was. It would have changed her life. Seriously, it would have changed Camooch's life, because she probably would have had a rematch with Ronda, but she would have been the first one to defeat Ronda Rousey, opposite of Holly Holmes, right? So therefore, I would have liked Ronda Rousey to step up and kind of give Cyborg, you know, just a little attention. You know, that's why I respect Gina Carano. Man, she stepped in there with a Cyborg, and we don't know if she was totally clean, but Gina Carano, man, she held her shit. Like, I have some love for Gina Carano, real talk. Gina Carano, man, is my numero uno almost, man. Gina Carano is tough. She's easy on the eyes, man. Actress, all that shit, man. She's a strange, she's what you call like a beautiful nightmare, man, because she can fight. But it's just something that's a little dark on her side to be able to, you know, look that prepossessing, but yet know how to throw hands like that. And she gave Cyborg, she stepped in there with a Cyborg, an old school Cyborg. You know what I'm saying? That went on a war path. Ronda didn't want to give her that. And she was a pioneer of women's fighting in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? She could have just said, okay, let me challenge myself. Let me go up and wait a little bit and face Christian Cyborg, and let's shut down all the rumors. If you truly believe in your all-around game, Rousey would have stepped up and faced Cyborg. But I believe she felt, and her people was telling her, like, Cyborg can hit, she can bang. And even though Ronda Rousey's boxing sucked, you know, she had high level judo, and she basically could have potentially taken Cyborg down. But on the other side of that, Cyborg, she's a malicious fighter. She comes in there with absolute bad intentions. And I'm wondering, could Ronda Rousey could have handled the pressure that she would have got from Cyborg, because it was personal. That's a fight that I would have liked to seen happen, but it would never happen now. Never. You know, Cyborg, she's a champion in Bellator at 45. It would never happen. Never. Never. But I do commend Holly Holmes for getting her shot and becoming world champion the right way. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. She defeated Ronda Rousey. She shut her down. And it's legit. You know what I'm saying? Damn good fight plan. She used her offense perfectly, her boxing skills combined with her kickboxing, and then blend that in and tie it up together with her mixed martial arts delegation. It worked out perfectly for Holly Holmes. The beautiful but deadly fighter name. You talking about the one I said about Gina Carano? Gina Carano is out of the sport right now. Like, she retired. Like, she does, you know, movies. She was in Expendables. She was in the Fast and the Furious. You know. On the day of the weigh-ins, look, on the day of the weigh-ins start when both hands are 12 o'clock in the a.m. Okay? So if you're talking about shaking out, if you just say you have 5 pounds to lose, you have from time it strikes the day of the weigh-in all the ways, just say the weigh-ins at 4:30. It depends on the energy and how depleted the fighter is when it comes to water, because you're dry. You're absolutely dry, super dry. And that plays a huge role with weight cut. Your body needs something to lose. I mean, if you're totally dry, you can't piss, you ain't doing shit. You got to find a way to sweat. You got to just wrench that last pound, you know, out when your body gets completely dry, man. So I'm telling you, it's a miserable freaking process. I ain't gonna lie. So we have up next right now, yeah, Gina Carano on point, man.
135.5, the official weight for Sarah Alpar.
So Sarah Alpar versus Jessica Rose Clark at the bantamweight division.
I was thinking about this. Couldn't do it anymore.
We just had a couple more weigh-ins. Of course, Woodley, he hasn't weighed in yet, if I'm not mistaken. I've been here since the inception, since it started. So we haven't had Woodley weigh in yet. Ryan Spann hasn't weighed in. I haven't seen Mackenzie Dern yet. Mackenzie Dern is she's a thick fighter. She had a baby, you know, even though she's returned to the cage since then, she still holds weight. Seriously, she still holds weight. And to be honest with you, I can't see Mackenzie Dern stand at 115, you know, for several fights after this. I do believe at one point in time she's going to have to move up to flyweight. And we all know what the weight's up at flyweight. You know, you have the Bullet, Valentina Shevchenko. That's a beast. Absolutely beast when it comes down. Her and her sister, they both fight. She's better than her sister. But yeah. Who else we missing? Most of the preliminary card has pulled up. You know what I'm saying? I believe we were waiting on Ryan Spann, Tyron Woodley, Darren Stewart, Colby Covington, who went already. Cerrone and Price went. Chimaev. I think we're waiting on Meerschaert. I'm not sure how to say his last name. I forgot. But yeah, Gina Carano, man, I would have liked to seen her fight in the UFC. But behind the scenes, man, it was disrespectful. Just like, you know, when it comes to Dana White disrespecting Chris Cyborg, you know, it's well documented. It's public record. I'm not making this shit up. But, you know, he referred to her as a bitch because, you know, saying she was difficult to deal with. But he never really truly respected Cyborg. You know, it was a lot of back and forth. And, you know, degrading remarks made of Chris Cyborg, you know, being a man and all that other shit. I'm pretty sure it hurt her feelings. When it came to Gina Carano, is the fact that, you know, she kind of pretty much received the same treatment, and they felt that she would be an easy go to come over there and appease the fight fans and face Rousey in the UFC. But she never committed to it. And she wanted, you know, that's what Gina Carano stays out of the limelight a lot. But there was some back and forth with a text that Carano received that supposedly, allegedly, White was referring to her as a bitch and she was difficult to deal with. And she was like saying, that's not the case. You know, she was like, if I'm going to do this, I need for you to keep it confidential because I need to get back in the gym and I need to make sure I'm in shape. I need to see how my body feels to get back in shape if I'm going to take this fight. And then before she knew it, the word was out. And she was like, what do you put the word out for? I haven't committed this, that, and the other. So it was off. She was like, no, it's not happening. So between the text that was sent to her, she thought somehow Dana White had sent her a text mistakenly, and come to find out, she said, did you mean to send this to me? And from what was out there in public record, he was like, yeah. So the text was a little disrespectful, and Gina took offense to it because she ain't no chump. And she said, fuck it, I ain't coming over there. I'm not taking the fight. And from my understanding was, man, it was for millions. Like, it was supposed to be a big ass fight. It was going to be a nice one. But still to this day, man, I just think, you know, with the rivalry Miesha Tate and Ronda Rousey had, it was okay. I like Miesha Tate, man. Seriously, I think she's a sweetheart. And the way she handled all the damn brashness and trash talk and, you know, belittling that went on with Ronda Rousey, you know, criticizing her every move. You know what I'm saying? And for her to go in the way she did and not tap on that arm bar when her arm was just trash. Miesha Tate was a dog, man. Like, she was tough as shit. She was very tough. I think the situations Miesha Tate was put in with Ronda Rousey was definitely tougher than Ronda Rousey faced when she was in opposition, when she was in situations of adversity that she had to get out of. I'm just keeping it real. I truly believe that, because she didn't handle adversity as well as Miesha Tate did when she was in those situations with Ronda Rousey, when she was trying to work out that arm bar and getting her arm trashed. I think a rivalry of all rivalries, if by chance Cyborg would have been able to make weight around that bantamweight division and it was healthy, that would have been a rivalry to remember. Seriously, that would have been one to remember for Rousey's legacy. Rousey name has just faded away, even though she's a Hall of Famer, because of course she's going to be a Hall of Famer, because you're talking about Dana White, who said he'll never have women fighting in the UFC, and he found the right woman to fight. And there was only one division at a certain time in history, starting off the bantamweight division. It would have been good if Cyborg would have been there for them to have that rivalry. It would have been great. And for those of you that think that, you know, Amanda Nunes just ran through Cyborg just because she had the better skills and this, man, Cyborg did not want to become champion or remain champion and be in a position where she was locked in contractually to the UFC for several other fights. She didn't want to, so she was stopped. I'm not saying that's the whole deal, but I'm looking at this shit logically when it comes down to the fight game. You know, especially in her situation, she didn't want to be locked in with the UFC. It was a bad relationship. She got knocked out. She got stopped. She had one of those, you know, game plans just to stand up and go right back into the fire recklessly. And we seen her fight better than that. And Amanda Nunes gave her what she was looking for that night, stopped her, and she became champ, the first woman to do it. So, okay, you know, Chris Cyborg leaves UFC and then goes back over to Bellator. I mean, goes over to Bellator and she fights and win another belt. If you know anything about Cyborg, I still see her as one of the best women ever in women's combat. One of the best to do it. Look at her fight with Yadina Bars, kickboxing. Bars hit her with some damn knees like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. Rob says, disappointing. I would not to get to see Cyborg versus Nunes too. Yeah, we all disappointed with that because it's going to come down to it. I don't see Amanda Nunes getting to a point where she's going to go over to Bellator. The only potential connection that might happen is far-fetched too. This needs to happen in light of the pandemic. This needs to happen is that we are able to see a cross promotion super fight card, UFC versus Bellator. There are some quality champions. We have champion versus champion, PPV. Let's go. Shout out to American Top Team ATL. You know what it is, Douglas Lima. I'd definitely like to see Douglas Lima face Kamaru Usman. Dude is an absolute monster. We seen him in there in some epic fights, man. Rory McDonald, you know, fights. We seen him in there with MVP. Man, we seen him in there with some opponents that you were like, damn. And he's 4-time welterweight champion. I would like to see cross promotion super fights, especially in the welterweight division. I would like to see a super fight in the light heavyweight division. Once we establish, you know, Dominique Reyes and Juan Blachowicz, I'd like to see that fight. I'd definitely like to see the featherweight and lightweights get it on. Absolutely. If they can just have a 5-fight card, 5 fights on the card, PPV, cross promotion, UFC versus Bellator, let's get it. 6 would be asking too much. But just give us 5. Cinco. That's all we need. 5 super fights. Promotion versus promotion. Let's go. We're talking about the core weight classes. Now, I'm not sure Gegard Mousasi, you know, he's supposed to face, you know, Douglas Lima coming up. Douglas Lima is trying to be a champ in 2 divisions. So Douglas Lima is currently Bellator welterweight champion. So he's definitely moving up the middleweight to face Gegard Mousasi. And he's trying to become champ just like Ron Bader. If you know Ron Bader was in the UFC and he was okay. You know what I'm saying? He did okay. But he goes over to Bellator and he becomes the light heavyweight and the heavyweight champ. And he was defeated by some of the top names over here at the UFC. John Jones defeated him. But he was able to excel over there in the Bellator organization. That would be the shit, man. That would be the shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, drop your link in there again, Rob. Drop your link to your channel, man. Make sure you drop your link in there again, man. Rob say UFC versus Bellator PPV event once a year. Yeah, what's going on, Lawrence? Salute to you, man. I ain't see you pop in up there. I was busy looking elsewhere. Shout out to Lawrence, man. Salute. Thank you for dropping in. This is the weigh-ins of UFC event 11, UFC Fight Night event 11. Of course, there are boxing fight cards going on this weekend. Of course, I definitely try to play media tennis and go back and forth, but we'll see how that plays out. Rob say for the cross promotion diamond belt, something like that, man. Yeah, you know, boxing has all these belts and all that. Yeah, make up a belt. You know, both promotions. I'm serious. This has to happen because of the way that economically that these fighters are starving right now, and plus the fans are starving for some solid mixed martial arts competition, not just internal to the organization, but outside the organization. And you cannot just say, well, most of the fighters that was in the UFC are in Bellator now, and they want the best of the UFC, but it's different. It's different now. Like some of these fighters are going over to Bellator because of pay. They're getting paid better. Who's up next? Tyron? Who's up next? Who's up next?
All right, next up in the UFC's bantamweight division, Jerome Romero.
Okay. Jerome Rivera, he'll be facing Tyson Nam, bantamweight division.
$135, the official weight for Jerome Rivera.
He might have been shaking off those last pounds. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Rob, drop your link again, man. We're narrowing down. I think we're getting down to the last two. Okay. So unless I missed them, and I've been here the entire time, Ryan Spann and Tyron Woodley should be. Tyron Woodley should be the remaining ones.
All right, next up in the UFC's light heavyweight division, number 12 in the world, Ryan Spann.
There you go. I knew I haven't seen him yet. So Ryan Spann, he's on deck. And of course, Tyron Woodley will probably be last because I haven't seen him come out yet. It's taking a long time. It's taking a long time. That's usually a telltale sign. He stepped off. He's over. So he's going to get another chance to strip down, step back on the scale, and see can he make weight. What? He mad about something. I'm not sure. So I guess he want to strip down so he can step back on the scale because the fighter is not trying to take a whole nother hour to lose weight. They're not even prepared. Just like I told them they was prepared the other day. They're not even prepared. They should have had that out already for the fighters who need to strip down to make that weight, man. You should have had that out. They kind of changed it up now. Instead of the towel, they have like this contraption, so to speak. It's this contraption that they just hold so the fighter can step in, and it has a towel, it has a curtain, just like you're seeing. So they just slide that by the scale and allows the fighter a little bit more privacy.
$205.5, the official weight for Ryan Spann.
So he makes weight. And for those who have cut weight before you, you're not in the best of attitude. You're not in the best of mood. None of that. These motherfuckers are dry. They ain't trying to hear shit. Do you know how frustrating it is to miss weight and then you have to go back and lose 1.5 pounds? You know how crucial that is when you're dry? You're bone freaking dry. Now you got to lose 1.5 pounds. 1.5 pounds. You waiting to go back and eat. And your team are telling you, we can't go eat just yet. We got to knock this 1.5 pounds off, man. Then the fighter's like, man, I can't do this shit, dog. I just want to go home, be with the fam. You know what I'm saying? I just want to go to the seafood buffet, man. God damn.
Well done.
But yeah, back to the Bellator and UFC. That would be awesome. If they can just put on 5 fights, have a super fight card, and do a cross promotion. That would be nice, man, for us to see who has, the better freaking fighters as champions. And then also there's a not just bragging rights at the end, but there's some type of trophy for the organization. You know, after it's all over with, just have the best out of 5 or whatever the case may be. Have an individual fight per fight, belt, I agree, something like a diamond belt, like Rob mentioned. And then, which organization win the most fights, they have like a trophy that can go in the case of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Something. We need to switch it up. So following this, people, there's the face-off, which is way more exciting. I'm not sure the format for which they're going to have it, but the face-off, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen right after the weigh-ins. So the fighters can go back and relax and do what they have to do. It's quite opposite of the inaugural weigh-ins that used to happen with the UFC. We used to want to see that, man, on TV. Like, damn, we was looking for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure to go back to that sooner or later once we go back to a little bit of normalcy with gatherings and this with COVID-19. So once we are able to resume what we was used to originally, we would go back to the inaugural weigh-ins, which is much more exciting. You would have fans there in attendance. You would have them cheering for their fighter. It's way better than this bubble. And you're in a room with a whole lot of photographers and media. They're not going to cheer for you. We're not supposed to. You're not supposed to cheer for any particular fighter when you're on deck. You're supposed to, execute your duties and be professional and leave. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it's supposed to be, y'all. But I haven't been able to tap into the UFC media side just yet. I catch most of these fighters cornering a different fighter on the regional level, and you still get the interview. Seriously, you still get the interview. Like, I got an interview, I still have to post up a fight card that was just down here, a boxing card, but it was boxing and mixed martial arts, kickboxing. So I really need to post that interview, but he's not in mixed martial arts anymore. He's doing kickboxing, but I still recognize him. Come on, Woodley. If you haven't came out, man, I hope you don't take until 2:30 to come out, bro. People ain't gonna like that. Seriously. I'm looking forward to that top rank card tomorrow, too. I'm looking forward to that top rank card tomorrow. You have F.A. Ajagba versus Johnny Rice, September 19th. Hefe. And then 17-year-old prospect Jai Tucker will face Kazir Mazi. You have Jose Pedraza in the co-feature versus Javier Molina, junior welterweight main event. Razvan Kanjanu is back. Okay. If y'all have any questions, drop them in the live chat, man. Those mixed martial arts fans, you have any questions? You know, when you want to ask about a mixed martial art, you know, MMA athlete or fighter or anything dealing with.
All right, next up, UFC featherweight division, Derek Minner.
Okay, Derek Minner. Fighting at featherweight division, going against TJ Laramie.
146, the official weight for Derek Minner.
So they give him a pound. They giving them a pound. Shit. They giving these fighters a pound, I guess. I bet Henry Cejudo say, where was that when I was trying to make weight? Kevin Gastelum. Where was that when I was trying to make weight? Y'all weren't trying to give me that love. Y'all up here taking purses. Jones in the building. What's good, man? I hope Tyron can pull it off. Just ain't look good lately. I don't know about this, man. Colby Covington's going to be tough. Covington is a tough opposition for Tyron Woodley, stylistically. The only, you know, the one gripe I have about Woodley is that his fighting style hasn't really changed. He pretty much do the same thing all the time. And then we all know when he hit that wall, when it comes to his cardio, he goes downhill from there. I'm talking about barrel downhill. It gets bad. Like the fighters like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, you know, Damian Maya and Darren Till, they couldn't figure it out because they gave him 1-for-1. We know what Damian Maya was going to do. He's trying to get in close. He's the backpack. He's going to try to take him down. And then Wonderboy, we know that his counter striking ability, you know, with his mixed martial arts background, that's the way he fight. But give it up to Wonderboy. He was tough as shit. He got out of that guillotine that Tyron had him in. I give him all the credit in the world, but his career also hasn't quite evolved enough for him to be in the picture. Just like Sage Northcutt. That's why Sage Northcutt is no longer in the UFC. He's tremendous specimen when it comes to physique and aesthetics, but it takes more than that when you in mixed martial arts. It's all about your all-around striking ability. You know what I'm saying? Your all-around skill set. Your entire cachet when it comes to your arsenal. And some people don't evolve. And Tyron Woodley, even though he was champion, he just didn't evolve enough. I'm looking forward to that Paulo Costa. Israel Adesanya. I'm looking forward to that one right there.
UFC strawweight division, number 15 in the world, Mackenzie Dern.
There goes Mackenzie. I was dead on with the ones who haven't made it yet. Salute to Mackenzie Dern, you know. Like I said before, I don't see her being at 115 too long. That's why she's late coming in. She's trying to shed those last pounds, man. She may wait. High-level jiu-jitsu practitioner right there. World-class level. Jones said that's going to be interesting. He got his 2 places. Covington is tough when it comes down to it. Colby is tough, man. A lot of people take what he's doing personally. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are just saying, yeah, he's trying to put on this facade and wear the hats, the Magna hats and all that. But you have to understand what was about to happen with him. He was about to be released from the UFC, so he had to go to desperate measures and say, fuck everything. I have to gain the interest of the fans, and he turned villain. And people didn't like him, but Colby's like, yo, okay, they tuning in to me now. I still get to fight in the UFC because they was about to let him go because he was a low-key type of dude. Now he's just the opposite. He does stuff to get under people's skin. But I will say for this particular fight with Woodley, he's been extremely quiet. Extremely quiet. And, matter of fact, while we're waiting on Tyron, let me bring up this photo. I'm trying to pull up this picture. I think I sent it. I think I posted it. Who's next? Okay, let me get back. I thought we was gonna have a weigh-in. Let me try to find this picture that I'm talking about. It's not just with him and the president. It's a crazy picture because there's a lot to this backstory of the individuals that's in this picture. Real talk is deep. It's really deep. Ali Abdulaziz, one of the top managers in UFC. His history. They call him a freaking. They're gonna call that man a terrorist, a freaking traitor, of informant, all that. But he's one of the top freaking trainers in the UFC. A lot of fighters go to this guy, man. I have to get back. Let me see who's coming up.
Next fight to the scale in the UFC's middleweight division, Darren the Dentist Stewart.
What? Dang. What? Yeah. Okay, I was pretty on. Yeah. That's the opponent of Kevin Holland. So Darren Stewart finally came out.
185.5
So he was up there trying to make weight. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a good fight, I believe. Kevin Holland versus Darren Stewart. I don't look around, man. I'm right here answering a question. I just want to fight, man. I just asked you what you get. You look around the room like, oh, it's rising. All right. Okay, I'm still looking for this picture, people. If I can find it, I'll post it after the weigh-ins on the overlay. There's a lot of history to this shit. Real talk. With Ali, Colby, freaking Henry Cejudo, Justin Gaethje, and Khabib. I believe Khabib was in the picture. Let me see. Where this picture at, man? Come on, man. You gotta be kidding me. They moved the scale. So Tyron already went? He must have went early. Now the face-offs. Now it gets interesting. I hope it's not this 6 feet, this 6 feet shit. Man, they can get close together. They can get like a foot. They can get half a foot. Give the fight fans a little bit of energy. We want to see the fight, pump us up. We want to see y'all get down to it. So what next is going to be the weigh-ins. I mean, the face-offs. So the weigh-ins have just concluded, and we're transitioning over to the face-offs, which is probably the more interesting aspect of all of it. Kind of give you a gist of both opponents, who's facing who, and you can make your predictions, who's your favorite, and all this other stuff that goes on. But salute to mixed martial arts, man.
No, it's just adjusting. Yeah, I'll go right back to where I was.
And those of you that's in the building, do me a big favor, man. This is one of the most easiest efforts that you will ever be a part of. Just hit that like button. Just hit that like button for me. That's all you have to do. Minimal effort. If you have a touch screen, all you have to do is just boom, fingertip it. You know what I'm saying? No tripping. Then put that mouse over there, click it. No tripping. And get this done. Trying to find this picture. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, to be honest. I really wanted to post it up here. God. Come on, man. UFC Vegas 11, Apex Center. So we have a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, about 14 fights on this card. That's why I fuck with the UFC, Bellator, mixed martial arts in general. But they put on a lot of freaking matchups on the card, man. And though most of these are 3-rounders, they're 5 minutes apiece. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. You can't ask for anything better. And the main card, really, it's pretty decent, to be honest. It's pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is gonna supersede the boxing card when it comes to interest. Seriously, real talk. Colby, Covington, Tyron, Woodley, co-main Donald, Cowboy, Cerrone, Niko, Price. Next, middleweight division, Khamzat, Chimaev against Gerald, Meerschaert. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Johnny Walker versus Ryan Spann. Mackenzie Dern versus Randa Markos. Kevin Holland versus Darren. Kevin Holland versus Darren Stewart. Man, come on, man. They have a pretty decent main card, man, and a headliner.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson versus Jones. I think it's good for boxing. You're talking about two legends. I have mad respect for Roy Jones, for both fighters in general, but of course for Roy Jones, being that he's allowed me in this training camp, and he had some of the most fastest hands and styles that, in my opinion, that's unteachable. You have to be blessed with that. But I think it's a good deal for these guys. Unfortunately, I wish it would have happened this month, like it was supposed to.
I was talking to mom. Like,
but I think,
like,
let me cut them down a little bit.
I'm like, not probably. I'm like 100%. Like when people check you in with hazmat suits and spray you. Good.
Okay, so I really wish it would have happened in September, like it was originally scheduled. But to push it back to November, just so you can maximize revenue, it kind of took the air out of everything. We was talking about this fight. You know what I'm saying? The League of Legends. Everybody was talking about it, man. And then it get pushed like it didn't get pushed back 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They pushed this shit to the end of November. And it wasn't due to the actions of Roy. Tyson did it. It's all about him and his Triller, app that he's pushing this on and everything else. I think he might have got injured. No telling what we looking at. He even made a statement to say, the first video he put out that he was hitting the mitts and his mitt holder acting like he's just this Goliath. You know what I'm saying? And he could barely hold the mitts. He said he was in the bed for a week. Tyson said he was in the bed for a week after that video. I think it's good for the sport. I think exhibition-wise, if both fighters sustain respect for one another and go in there and give us a show, an exhibition show, I think it'll be well worth it. Both are showmen, more so Roy Jones Jr. But I'm curious to see how Mike Tyson will take if he's touched on the chin. Mike Tyson is not the Tyson of old. He's much more calmer now, much more of a Sung Freud type of dude. So I don't see him losing his head like a lot of people think. But it's a difference when you're smoking weed, hot boxing with big celebrity names. That's a difference because your mindset is different. But when you have to get in shape again at his age of 53, you feel like shit. You got a quick temper and everything. I want to see it. Long as it stays exhibition. Long as we don't see nobody get knocked out. Yeah, I would definitely like to see the fight. I would like to see it more so than I would Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. And I know a lot of people trying to shut that fight down, like, oh, who would even report on that? That shit ain't happening. Shit. He went in there and fought Tenshin Nashikawa. Why wouldn't it happen? If they're going to pay this man the money, you think Floyd is not going to take the fight? He absolutely is going to take the fight. I can't call the man an opportunist, but I'm just saying, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope Floyd doesn't fight Logan Paul. I'm really hoping that. The reason being is I don't think, and I know for a fact, Logan Paul doesn't deserve to grace the square with one of the greatest fighters to ever do it. He doesn't deserve it. Logan Paul, just off his YouTube views and notoriety, does not deserve to step in the square with Floyd Mayweather. It's plenty of other fighters, whether they're active or retired, would love to step in there for an exhibition with Floyd, who never got the opportunity. But don't give it to Logan Paul. Don't do it. He don't deserve it. Him nor his brother. I would have rather seen KSI, the winner, return and fight somebody. Not Floyd, but fight somebody. A hip-hop artist, something. I would rather see him fight somebody than I would with Logan Paul. You can't sit up here and put these YouTubers in training camp and put them with some fresh faces that we used to seeing that's legitimate boxers and think that aura of being in the presence of these individuals is going to be inhaled by Logan Paul, and he's just going to pick up these skills and become a master. That shit ain't going to fucking happen. He still don't have no damn cardio. And he's still going to gas out. And he still need to stay in boxing longer than a year. You know, he's young. Logan Paul's young. Stay in the gym year plus. Enhance your skills. Keep on doing what you're doing. And then come back and fight somebody that we know, but not Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Hell no. We don't want to see that shit. Okay, for sure, Kano. For those of you that's tuned in, Kano Local Sports, man, he's going to interview the one and only Pinklin Thomas, man. Definitely an interview you want to stop in. So hold up for a second. Be sure to stop in for that interview, man. Pinklin Thomas. Over there at Kano Local Sports. Pinklin Thomas, 43-7, heavyweight. Last fought in 93. Household name when it comes, to who he stepped in there with. He's lost to some big names, but he's been in the square with some big names. Tommy Morrison, Riddick Bowe, Hunter, Vander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Trevor Bervick. Even with Tim Witherspoon, he's been in there with some big names, man. James Tillis. Y'all be patient, man. We still wait for everything to you know, the fighters to get ready for the face-off and all this. But yeah, he was in there with James Tillis, and you know how important James Tillis is, man. You know, he was one of the first fighters to go the distance with Mike Tyson. I know a lot of people say bone crusher, but in a championship fight, that was the case. But James Tillis was the first one to go the distance with Aaron Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? T. Jordan in the building, salute to you. He said, WCS, thanks for your dedicated hard work. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for shouting me out. Appreciate it. Salute. Real talk. Salute to T. Jordan in the building. Floyd is tarnishing his legacy with this circle. I mean, I agree with that, man. Logan Paul, none of them YouTube stars deserve to be in the ring right now with Floyd Mayweather. But on the other side, people can say, well, Floyd can do what Floyd want to do. Floyd would do what Floyd want to do. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to this, they're going to say, you know, Floyd earned the right to have exhibition bouts. It's not like he's the first person to do it. You know, like I mentioned before, Muhammad Ali fought Lyle Alzado. Yeah, look him up. You know what I'm saying? Look him up. And I know he had that Japanese wrestler in there, but I like to use Lyle Alzado because people was actually believing, you know, the commercials Alzado was making and how big he was. He was gonna go in there and do work. You know what I'm saying? They actually believe he was gonna go in there and potentially touch Ali on the chin or something. You know what I'm saying? Like they believe that shit. Just like they believe Conor McGregor was gonna go in there and give Floyd Mayweather his first loss. You know? They actually believe that shit. Yes, somewhat of a circus. That's what an exhibition is. It's supposed to be a fight that's not taken serious. You know what I'm saying? Opposite of the regulated bouts. It's supposed to just be somewhat up for simple entertainment, so to speak. Nothing more than that. Entertainment. Jordan say, Floyd is pissing me off with these clown fights. Man, Floyd is like shit. As much money as I was able to make in my career, I'm able to do what I so feel like I choose to do. That's basically what he's saying to the boxing fans. And I'm saying you should not give these YouTube sensations an opportunity to step in the ring with you. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Even Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor didn't deserve to step in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. He didn't deserve it. He has not earned a career in mixed martial arts to mirror that of Floyd Mayweather. He is not. He's absolutely not. He has not mirrored that at all. He has not earned or achieved the accolades in mixed martial arts that Floyd Mayweather has in the sport of boxing. But it worked out for the both of them. And look where it got Conor McGregor. I mean, hey, both of them fighters been in trouble, but Conor McGregor just seemed like he just don't give a fuck and he gonna do what the hell he want to do. But, you know, check out Conor Loco's interview tomorrow with Pinklin Thomas, man. I would definitely be there to check that out. Floyd is Floyd. We should not be surprised. Yeah, you know, Floyd's gonna do what he do, man. But also we have to look at it this way too. What are they paying Floyd? You know what I'm saying? What he's going to get? Is he going to get that Tenshin Nashikawa money? 10 million for what? 10 million for how long he was in there? There go Dana White. Now we about to kick off these these face-off, man. Let's go. Let's go. Dana White sit up there like he can actually stop these fighters. Stop putting your damn right arm in between these fighters, man. Stop. Because if they want to swing, they can swing. You're not gonna announce.
Next prelim also in the bantamweight division, Andre Duel versus Erwin Rivera.
All right, they're getting pretty close. They're getting pretty close. Okay, all right. They talking trash. They talking trash. They sending that good energy. They sending that savage energy that we're looking for. That predatorial instinct. That killer be killed. Mano a mano. You know what I'm saying? No retreat, no surrender. But as we've seen before, the ones that supposed to be hot, they come out with their hands behind their back and being all nice. Everybody's giving each other hugs. I mean, kumbaya, goddammit. Everybody's giving each other COVID-19 hugs. You good? You good? Yeah. I'm good. You good? Okay. We can dap each other up. He said at the end of the day, why he ain't fighting KSI? He won. I watched that. Yeah, KSI was a much better fighter, but he still don't. Damn, what's up with all these fighters hugging each other, bro? What's going on here? Let me look to the side and see if there's a chaplain on deck or something, or a motivational speaker. All these fighters are just hugging each other, like say, "Hey, man, I'm glad you are here and you made it this far during the pandemic." She put her hand on her hips. Okay, I got you, girl. Shawty, I see you. About time we get a little bit of pizzazz.
Next up in the featherweight division, it'll be Mirsad Bektic versus Damon Jackson.
Yeah. I ain't come here to play. This is gonna be a good fight. Ain't no hugging going on here, shawty.
All right, and the featured bout of the ESPN Plus prelims in the flyweight division, Jordan Espinosa versus David Dvorak.
All this handshaking and hugging. It must be a pandemic thing. Kumbaya. Oh, oh, kumbaya. You hug, I hug, just like that. I hug, you hug, just like that. Okay, let's see how this go. Kevin Holland, Darren Stewart. Dang, Kevin Holland ran on deck, man. Both of them got their hands behind their back. I don't know where the usher type, posturing came from with all the hands behind their back and all that shit. I just don't know. At least give us something to work with to bring viewership. Just give us something, bro. That's all we want. We just want a little bit of freaking suspense. This where I miss, the Ronda Rouseys. You know what I'm saying? Ronda Rousey didn't play that shit doing weigh-ins. Shit, Ronda Rousey didn't play that shit. Shit, Rousey had an attitude. She played the part. She played the motherfucking part, man. Conor played the part. There goes Johnny Walker, Ryan Spann. No shaking of the hands. Ryan Spann, he tried to pull the old John Jones, not looking him in the eye. The Chael Sonnen not looking his opponent in the eye. They did shake hands at the end, but even Gary Russell does that. Gary Russell don't look his opponent in the eye. I get where he's coming from. It's not that they scared or anything.
Gerald Meerschaert.
Gerald Meerschaert. Okay, this should be interesting. Dana White put his arm up there, like really. If they really want to make contact, they would do it. Dana, move your hand, dude. Chimaev head kicking right quick, man. Protect yourself at all times, even at the face-off.
All right, now we get to the co-main event, the UFC's welterweight division, the future Hall of Famer Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Niko, the hybrid Price.
Oh, this is gonna be extremely friendly right here. These guys, for real. I mean, that's just the way they are. Cowboy Cerrone, Niko Price. All the giggles and laughs and shit. Here we go. Let's see if it's behind the back. Let's get all the security ready and all this. Let me see if this fizzles or it burns the house down. I don't see Tyron breaking character and getting all outrageous, but more so Colby kind of bringing that energy. Okay, Colby walked out with no mask. Okay, Colby out with no mask. Tyron, I don't know if he has a mask. I think he has a mask on, but it's pretty decent. Colby said, I ain't coming out here with no mask on, man. I'm coming out here for this smoke.
That's your main event tomorrow night live on ESPN Plus. Colby Covington, Tyron, Woodley.
I'm coming out here for this smoke. It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't like the inaugural weigh-ins like we used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? It was all right. It didn't have that climactic finish. God damn it. I wanted to see some pushing and shoving. And some pushing and shoving. But the caveat of Dana White has to be nervous. I don't think as many fights as he has done. I don't think he's nervous, man. I don't think Dana White is nervous with anything. He's seen it all right now. He's seen everything he can possibly see. Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor fucking with him at the weigh-ins. Man, there's been some crazy weigh-ins. We've seen some fighters swinging on each other. You know, the John Jones and Daniel Cormier. I can go on and on, man. He's seen it all. So right now during the pandemic, this is light work for Dana. Light work for Dana. You know what I'm saying? But for Hodges, you know, KSI may have won and defeated, you know, both Logan brothers, right? He defeated both Jake Paul and Logan Paul, right? But still, even with KSI, bravado wise, it would be good, you know, because he has this mystique about him and everything. But still, he doesn't deserve to be in there with Floyd Mayweather. He doesn't deserve to be in there with Floyd Mayweather. I would rather see Chino, Markos Maidana, come back for an exhibition bout with Mayweather. He fought him twice. I would like to see Markos Maidana. I heard he's getting back in shape for some apparent reason. I hope that money ain't ran out. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see him jump in there. I would rather see a fighter that's out, that's like an Andre Ward come back and have an exhibition with Floyd. Yeah, I like to see an Andre Ward. Hold on for a second. All right. But back to what I was saying. I would like to see him step in there with a boxer that's no longer in the sport. You know, someone that we respect, someone that we can tune in for a little bit of entertainment, even though it's an exhibition bout that's going to play around the right way. You know, not so much Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar is bland. He has no personality. It has to be somebody with a little bit of personality. The reason why I say Chino is because he has respect for boxing fans. and when his name pop up, they always, you know, link him up to Adrian Broner. That changed his career. He took some losses, some body shots, you know. I mean, he was fucking off in the gym, wasn't working on his core. But when it comes down to that night that he defeated Adrian Broner, people always give him that level of respect. And then not only that, him stepping there with Floyd twice, people like they respect Chino. So, you know, Andre Ward, man, that would be a good exhibition bout. Undefeated. Come on, man. It may be too much to ask for, but who cares in the exhibition bout if fighters are being, you know, outweighed? I mean, Floyd fought Tenshin Nashikawa and he was undersized like a mother. You know what I'm saying? So why not bring somebody in here to exhibition and fight an exhibition with Floyd that's in a higher weight class, that compete in the higher weight class? Why not? Why not? It's good. Not these internet, these YouTubers. Seriously, you already did, you know, you already went overseas. We looked at that being overseas. We didn't take it too much because he's a martial artist overseas. So we didn't really have any familiarity with this guy. So we didn't give a fuck, right? And then when it comes to Conor McGregor, he did have two championship belts. So we like, okay. But I was like, no, because it's a lot of fighters that would have liked this opportunity, but boxing is a business. And the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight was a business. And they made millions. A lot of people fill their pockets with millions. Seriously. So you have to look at it in that perspective, man. Let me see what else is going on. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I miss. Okay, cool. I'm good. But yeah, we have to look at it in that perspective, man. And you know, kind of bring out some names that's gonna draw that attention for these exhibitions. Like Roy Jones and Mike Tyson, they both in a collaborative effort, they bring you that vortex that you're looking for of energy, and it spins just the right way. You don't know what Mike Tyson's gonna do. You don't know what Roy Jones is gonna do. I mean, Mike Tyson's been out the ring longer than Roy. So, yeah, you know, that tandem right there brings interest back to boxing. It does. We was hoping and praying for, you know, certain fights to happen, and it was pushed back because of the pandemic. But that doesn't mean you just go out here and freehand shit. We don't want to see a big ass Logan Paul go in there and be missing badly. Because you know what he's going to try to do, y'all. You know what Logan Paul is going to try to do. He's going to try to go in there and load up on every damn shot. And then by the end of the damn second round, his ass is going to be gasping. And Floyd's going to be, you know, just fainting and carrying him just like he did Conor McGregor, you know, play around with him, letting people know his levels. Of course, it's going to be levels because you're fighting a dude that's never had a boxing level to begin with. So, of course, it's going to be levels. We've seen how good you were during your career. You were great. You were great at what you did. So this is practice for Floyd Mayweather if he takes this fight. It's practice. Floyd should be picking NBA YoungBoy. Come on now. Velocity. Come on now. It's comments like that to get you timed out. Come on, bro. NBA YoungBoy, he would knock that little motherfucker out, dog. This ain't no sparring. This ain't no exhibition bout. No way, no how. That dude is in a whole nother weight class. Floyd will have that guy turning. Look, they will have NBA YoungBoy turn his back and trying to step out the ring. Fuck that. I don't need y'all in my business. Fuck that. Doing all that clown ass shit. Fuck that. You tell your daddy, you'll tell you. I'm like, dude. Look, that's one person Floyd would not give an opportunity to step in the ring with him. He wouldn't. That cat doesn't deserve. He wouldn't do it, man. It would look so bad. It would look so bad. Extremely bad for Floyd. Because, come on, man. Everybody don't have those hands like. Let me see. Who's a rapper that has pretty good hands? I don't even want to get into what rappers have pretty good hands, man. I don't want to do it. But we all know what can happen when you're swinging wildly and Floyd just, slipping and moving and making this guy miss and he's all over the place. It will become a laughable moment quick. It will become a freak show. It will become an absolute circus. And we really don't want to see anything like that. Even though he deserves it. I would love to see Floyd keep him on the end of his jab, man, and have that cat stumbling all over the ring. He was the one to my fuck your daddy. Fuck your daddy. I mean, that's just absolute disrespect, man. Anyway, he ain't getting no more love over here. Floyd Sr., man, that jab. Floyd Sr., man, put that stick on there, but I'm not sure what his health is like. Every time I see him in person, he has a guy that he's walking with that's helping him or whatever. Floyd Sr. has been around for a long time, so I'm not sure if he can actually get himself to go those rounds. He has to fight at a pace. Floyd Sr., he's not, young spring chicken anymore like myself. So he would definitely have to be in good health. And I don't even think an exhibition bout. I know he got in there with Charlie Z before anyone put this shit on here. I know he did. But I'm talking about this is young guys who can potentially knock him out. Real talk. Like Logan Paul, KSI, that would be even more of a bigger disappointment and letdown. I wouldn't want to see that. I would get a petition, say, no, Floyd, don't do it. Floyd Sr., don't do it. Don't do it. Fuck that. We know you got quick hands. We know it. But do not get in here with these young cats who's going to try to make a damn example out of you. Don't do it. I don't want to see Floyd Sr. in that situation. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. But Floyd Mayweather in there with NBA YoungBoy? Absolutely. Outside of the ring, somewhere else, yeah. Because I know he don't have the skills to fuck with Floyd. Floyd making as much money fighting clowns than rising against real fighters. I put it this way, he's retired, man. TBE. So I feel that at this stage in the game, I don't want him to put another opponent on his resume as Conor McGregor, who was 0-0 in professional boxing. I tell people all the time, Conor McGregor absolutely fought amateur. He's an Ireland amateur boxer. And he did okay. But it wasn't that great to the point where he decided to go mixed martial arts. So he did have some boxing back in the day, but it was never on a professional level for us to ooh and ah and say, okay, he ready to be in there that night. But due to trash talking by Ronda Rousey, claiming that she can go ahead and defeat Floyd Mayweather with one hand tied behind her back and all this other shit she was dreaming. Some of the worst hands in mixed martial arts was Ronda Rousey. Somebody boosted her head up so much that she was going on talking about, I won the ESPY award. How do you feel about that, Floyd? And plus, she was taking jabs at him for putting his hand on women. So Conor McGregor got to a point saying, you know what? Shit, let me start doing this shit. Let me start calling out Floyd. Because that's basically, Conor McGregor kind of jacked some of Floyd's style anyway. Bravado wise, he found out, you had to have a certain bravado to make it to the mainstream. outside of your fighting skills. So that's what he started to do. People was picking up on Ronda Rousey trash talking, so Conor McGregor tried to do it, and he succeeded. So once it caught fire, Floyd probably hit him up. Floyd's people say, keep that up, man. I like what I'm seeing. Make it work. If enough people, keep on adding fuel to the fire and thinking, this is the fight they want to see, then I'll bless you with grace in the square with me. All right, there, young flower. Keep on putting in that work, and we'll see what happens. And then these mixed martial art fans got up here and started talking about, Conor McGregor. He will fuck Floyd up. He's a 2-division champion. He went from 45 up to 70, back down to 55. He's the first to ever do it. 2-division champion. He can do it. He can give Floyd his one loss. And listen, people, listen. I was listening to individuals who I respect in knowing combat sports. I did. I was having conversation with people who I absolutely enjoyed speaking with. And they themselves were injecting the possibility that Conor McGregor can go over here and knock Floyd out. They're saying, did you see what he did to Jose? I say, that's because Jose allowed him to use his left hand as a counterpuncher, and both fighters threw the punch at the same time. Yes, Conor McGregor has some power, but this is boxing. What the fuck are you talking about? Man, I understand what you're saying. WCS, I get it, but I just think Conor McGregor, he has the smarts and the goods to give Floyd Mayweather his first loss. I do. I don't mean no harm by it. I just feel that he has it. I said, listen, and you tripping right now. I'm going back. You tripping. You can't be serious. Did you see when he fought Nate Diaz? He ran out of gas. Do you understand that he's going to be in a boxing ring where he cannot change levels like he did with Nate Diaz to try to catch his breath, but yet he pretty much surrendered? You can't do that in boxing. You got to stay on your feet. How is he going to do that if Floyd really comes out there and put that jab to work and keep him on the stick? That's all he had to do with Conor McGregor, because Conor McGregor is a counterpuncher. That's why Khabib was first to knock him down in their fight, because Conor was waiting. He was too apprehensive about, overcommitting on the shot. And then before you know it, Khabib is on his hips and he's sitting down, on the canvas trying to fight to frame and get back to his feet. But there was actually people out here believing that Conor McGregor step in there and give Floyd his first loss. It's people that paid $100 and they lost money on the bet because they wanted to be the first ones to brag and say, you know what? If Conor McGregor did defeat Floyd, it would be one of the biggest upsets in boxing. That's what they were saying. And it would have been one of the biggest upsets in the sports due to the fact that Conor McGregor was an 0-0 fighter. If Conor McGregor would have somehow, some way touched Floyd on the chin or got him in trouble and stopped him, it would have absolutely taken him to a whole entirely different stratosphere of celebrity status. I'm being real. If Conor McGregor would have went in there and not only gave Floyd Mayweather a loss, but stopped him, I don't think he ever would have came back to mixed martial arts. It would have been difficult for Conor McGregor to return to mixed martial arts, because the reality of it is that in mixed martial arts, you have multifacets that you have to contend with, right? So it's a lot of people in there that didn't like Conor McGregor. Even when he had the opportunity to go over there and make over 100 million, people was like, damn, I'm up here hating on this motherfucker. He went up here and got paid more than I ever make in my life. And then Conor McGregor laughing at them motherfuckers. But when it comes down to it, Floyd Mayweather had an easy day with Conor. But yet people actually thought that he had a chance to defeat Floyd Mayweather, a mixed martial artist who has to basically subtract skill sets that he's been practicing, and only narrow it down to one, using his hands in the art of combat. His only striking discipline will be implemented with his hands, his left and right hand. Not elbows, not knees, not leg kicks, just your fist. And I had people that I respected in combat sports tell me, hey, man, I want to put that bet. Man. Let's bet 200. Let's bet 500. Man, I think Conor McGregor can do it. I say, but did you see when he moved up to 170? He was gassing. Have you seen any of his fights? You just going off a 13-second knockout against Jose Aldo? You just going off of Eddie Alvarez, him finishing with punches? Good luck, bro. Good luck. All about money at this point. Floyd is an expensive man. Yeah, he is expensive, man. But, you know, if you're going to bring them people on deck to grace the square with you, at least allow it to be someone that deserves it. Yeah, I'm using the D word, deserve. They need to deserve to be in there with you, Floyd. You need to give them that opportunity. Don't give no damn Jake Paul, Logan Paul the opportunity. Don't give either one of them brothers the opportunity. They both lost to KSI. And even KSI, in my opinion, don't deserve the opportunity. Even though he can talk a little bit more trash, all of them suck at trash talking. I swear to you. For the zone to host the press conference, and Logan Paul's up there talking about, what's 5 plus 5? See, you're unintelligent. You don't even know what 5 plus 5 is. It's not 9. It's not. You know, that shit was the weakest fucking press conference. Man, it was the fucking weakest. It just made me commit to myself to say, how can I commit to the zone and they're putting on trash like this? This shit was the lowest of the lowest. I'm talking about empty stock room and Goodwill low. I remember back in the day walking up in Goodwill, how dusty that store looked. And I used to ask my mom, Mom, can I sit in the car? You're too young to be in the car. Come in here. I said, but damn, Goodwill again? What are we looking for? Maybe I can help you out. What are you looking for exactly? Because obviously the people who's working here are volunteers and they don't clean up the place. But you get what I'm saying. That press conference it should have been in a stock room or Goodwill. Because either one of them guys in trash talk, they sucked. And then even though the fight did excel a little bit outside of the press conference, KSI, all three of them, they need to fight somebody like, I would want to see them in there with somebody like Adrian Broner. Because Adrian Broner can trash talk, and then, you know, he can help them out. He can boost them up. I like to see him in there with Adrian Broner or something like that. To be honest. Floyd lifestyle will continue to bring him out of retirement. You ain't never lied. And once again, I truly don't like talking about people's money and shit like that, but he has a lot of maintenance that he has to take care of monthly. So he definitely has to come out of retirement and make a couple of million. And I say you'll probably see that all the way till he's 50 years old, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. Somebody's with Floyd's salubrity, how he takes care of his body. You know what I'm saying? Him caring for his fitness and well-being. We might see him all the way till he's 50 coming out of retirement because he's going to stay in shape. I really think that Floyd, looking in the mirror, he has to see a certain Floyd to be comfortable with who he is. I don't think, even when Floyd is 55, 60 years old, I can't ever think that Floyd is going to be overweight or looking like an old ass dude. You know what I'm saying? With all that money he has, we damn well might see Floyd doing something at 55 or 60. I'm telling you, if he keeps living the way he lives, somehow, some way, I mean, either his investments are going to pick up and all that, but I don't think he's ever going to be that guy where he's going to be extremely out of shape, deconditioned, a little gut on him. I don't think he's going to wait to 50 to say, you know what, it's time for me to start drinking. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going to be that guy. I don't think so. But that's a good point there, Philosophy. You know, that's a damn good point. Real talk. But people, there you have it. You know, I just wanted to drop through and pick up on these weigh-ins and the face-offs that's popping off. The fight card, UFC Vegas, 11 weigh-ins, Woodley, Covington on the headliner. And I put the fight card for you, the supporters. I put it in the UFC. I mean, I put the fight card in the description on YouTube, so you all can kind of see. You know, it's like a 14 fights on here. You can't ask for anything better than that. It's loaded on the preliminaries with the bantamweight division. All right. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4. You have about 4 bantamweight fights. And then flyweight, you have 1, 2 flyweight, 1 featherweight. There's no lightweight on here. No lightweight fights on here. You have 1 welterweight, which is Cerrone and Niko Price on the main card before the main event. And of course, the main event is going to be the welterweight contenders, Colby Covington and Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley is a former welterweight champion who defended his title 4 times, 2 against Stephen Wonderboy, a draw and a decision, and then Damian Mayra, and then of course the knockout of Darren Till. And then he lost to Kamaru Usman and so forth. So you have an 85-pounder middleweight Kevin Holland versus Darren Stewart. I believe that's going to be a damn good fight. I'm not looking forward to the Dern Markos fight, but I know it's going to be interesting because Randa Markos, she is a very scrappy fighter. You know, Johnny Walker, Ryan Spann, pretty decent matchup stylistic for these two trying to get back. You know, Ryan Spann is on an 8-fight win streak, I believe. So if Johnny Walker can shut him down and get this decision win or knock him out, it puts him right back in the favor of fight fans. You know, they kind of lost a little trust in Johnny Walker and his decision-making process as a fighter. He's made some questionable decisions in there. You know what I'm saying? It caused him to take the L. And of course, the man, Khamzat Chimaev, man. This guy's the next big thing, man. The hype is behind this guy. He can trash talk. He speak English. You know what I'm saying? He has the persona to do it. And he's in a good division. He's in the middleweight division. And a lot of people are already talking. Before we even step in there and see Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa, they talking about Khamzat Chimaev, man. They really want to see potentially him face the winner of Costa Adesanya. Is he ready yet? I don't know, man. Adesanya is a different dude. I will be absolutely honest with it. I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt of staying undefeated and becoming champion. I didn't think he you know, I thought Robert Whittaker would give him the business. But he proved me wrong. So he was able to become middleweight champion, and salute to him. Congrats, man. No need to talk about Cerrone and Price. They're going to go in there. The good thing I like about these two is they can be friends and all jipper and everything and jovial. But when it comes down to fighting, they're going to throw down. That's what I respect about individuals. You know, the ones I met in life, man, and no, they don't talk much, the dangerous ones. They don't do all this rah-rah shit. Especially in the martial arts community, man. You have some killers in there that's very nice guys. but they will fuck you up. They will absolutely fuck you up. I've met some of the nicest Japanese professors and students overseas. I met some of the nicest Muay Thai to a point. The attitudes of them guys are not so much low key though. The Muay Thai guys that's over there, that's been through what they've been through over there. They pretty much give you that face value. They look like they'll fuck you up, and they act like they want to fuck you up. Period. But I know Cerrone and Price is going to give it, and Covington and Woodley, we're going to see right away. If anything, I think Covington want to be in the UFC. I think he wants to be the first to stop Woodley. Not only stop him, I think he wants to do it in a way that's dominating, that people start calling for him to face some of the top competition to get back in there for another title shot. Seriously, if Colby Covington goes in here and stops Woodley and does something Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman wasn't able to do, it's going to be unfucking believable. Seriously. As much as people hate Colby, they're going to be like, oh shit, was Tyron just out of it, or was Covington, his game plan that much better than those two? We'll see. Turn up and tune in, people, to World Combat Sports. Let me read this and then I'm out. I would like to see Mayorga versus Mayweather. Ricardo could use the dollars. The only thing about Ricardo Mayorga is that his fighting style, he fought in spurts. You know what I'm saying? He had that street mentality type of fighting style. And he was a tough motherfucker too. I used to like to see Mayorga when he's about to fight, smoking a cigarette. I knew he was that type of dude. Mayorga was a street dude. He was gutter. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mayorga was. I don't think he'd be good for an exhibition bout though, because we already know. I would want to see more so a fighter that's more technically sound than Mayorga. We all know Mayorga is going to give you, okay, I'm going to stick my head out there. Floyd is not going to give you straight up power punches. This time in his career, he's not going to try to damn land and be baited in like Sugar Shane Mosley was. He's not going to do it. Floyd's going to finesse. He's going to show you the beauty of the sweet signs. Mayorga can go up here and goddamn stick his head out there or say hit me 1,000 times over and try to bait Floyd in. Floyd is just going to stick to the jab to the body up top. He's going to use the pull counter, man, catch and shoot, whatever you want to do, man. He's going to slip. He's going to do whatever Floyd want to do, man. The shoulder roll, he's going to give you the beauty of the sweet signs, and that's that. Mayorga, I guess he'd be good for entertainment in a way, but will he be that way for the American people to tune into it? Because it's going to be about PPV when it comes. It's all about money when it comes to Floyd. So he's not going to just say, okay, pick Mayorga. And people's like, huh? Who is this guy? You know how the millennials are. Who is this guy? Why are they allowing him to smoke indoors? It's COVID. You smoke a cigarette indoors, you're more likely to catch COVID from the smoke. If you inhale the smoke, it's COVID smoke. They come up with some stupid shit, dog. But I see where you're coming from, man. But y'all hold it down, man. Appreciate everybody for stopping in. Salute to you. Sub to the channel. I appreciate it. Shout out to everyone who's out here doing it. Be sure to subscribe to Rob's channel. Come on, Local Sports interview tomorrow at 1:30. Pinkland Thomas. You know what I mean? Make sure you check him out. Tune in to his channel. And keep on doing what you're doing, man. Stay grinding and support World Combat Sports, man.